All right, Tessa, you good? All set? All right, everyone, we'll go and get started. We'd like to welcome the 2025 Zurich Classic New Orleans champions, Andrew Novak and Ben Griffin. Guys, it's an incredible finish there coming down the stretch. And Ben, I'll start with you. You've had your fair share of close calls and on tour, and you've been chasing this for a while, but how gratifying is it to finally hunt this one down?
Yeah, I think for both Andrew and I, it kind of felt like it was only a matter of time out here. We both put ourselves in the mix a bunch, especially this season, but even going back to last season. Just a lot of hard work between both of us. And, for me personally, it means the world to finally get it paid off or to finally get it done. And so couldn't think of a better guy to get it done with right here with Andrew.
Perfect. And Andrew, coming off the emotion of being in that playoff in Hilton Head last week, how are you able to reset, refocus, and put together another strong performance and get the job done?
Yeah, I played well last week down the stretch, which was good to look back on. Like that was a positive. There have been times down the stretch where I've had chances and haven't played particularly well. So I took some positives into this week. You never really know when you're going to get your first one, but we put ourselves in position again. Luckily, I had Ben there for me today, and he carried down the stretch, and just so exciting to get our first win together.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll open up for questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone over to you. We'll start over here with Brody. Pass one there.
Yeah, I mean, for two guys that have come close and, been waiting for this moment, I'm curious, what was it like having that delay with a 3-shot lead, almost having to sit on this moment finally happening, and what was it like coming back out, maybe, trying to get back into it?
Yeah, we had the delay yesterday. It was almost the exact same. Like, we were on 10T yesterday, we're on 8 green today. We kind of went, sat down for an hour, reset, went back out there. It wasn't, the start we wanted, going bogey straight out of it. But honestly, it was an hour and a half delay, but it never rained. So the sun baking on the greens, it firmed up everything. I mean, the greens were getting really crispy, browned out. It made it play very difficult when we got out. It really was almost like a different golf course when we went back out there. A lot like firmer bounces, basically. So I think we did a decent job adjusting to that after we kind of recognized it. And definitely I would say after the delay, pars were a pretty good score. There probably weren't a ton of birdies being made after we went back out.
Yeah, I mean, he basically said everything that I probably would say. But, starting with a 3-shot lead, going into the round, we were pretty motivated to kind of expand that. And you never want to, make it as close as you do down the stretch. Fortunately for us, I think we did a great job hanging in there. Both of us, Andrew gives me some credit, but he hit some phenomenal shots down the stretch as well. 17, that tee shot is not easy with the wind off the right after just seeing Frankie do what he did. And so it was awesome to see that, stay on land, and was an awesome moment for both of us when I got it down.
And Andrew, I mean, you're on a pretty epic run right now. I'm curious, just how you felt the last few weeks up until maybe an hour ago of that balance of you're probably having the biggest career-changing run of your careers thus far, but also that frustration, of coming so close. Where did you fall in the balance with that?
That's a good question. I think I've done a pretty good job not getting overly frustrated with the close shaves. I've been trying to take as many positives from each as I can, because the idea is, I can put myself in that position as many times as I'm able to. I want to get better each time I'm in that position. I want to be more comfortable. I want to have things that I can look back on and improve on. So, yeah, it's frustrating, but it's also nice going into a tournament knowing you're playing well. So, coming into this week, I knew I was playing well. Ben's been playing good golf. This is a perfect golf course for us. There was a lot of confidence coming into this week for sure.
Right, you have one over here? Yeah.
Hi, good evening. Andrew Greenstein at Louisiana Radio Network. Speaking of birdies, can you take us through the 17th hole? You and the team that you were partnered with were tied going into the 17th. Take us through it. That was the key hole of the tournament. You two birdied. They bogeyed. There was another team in there, the Hogarth brothers, ended up birdieing on 18, but your birdie on 17 basically won the tournament. Can you take us through that hole?
Yeah, the tee shot, they moved the tees up. It was 183, tucked pin over there on the left, wind in off the right. My play didn't really change much based on what they had done. Obviously, I watched him just hit it in the water, but I'm trying to put it out there to the right, let the wind work it back, and basically just work it up the green. It got moving a bit more than I would have liked on the wind, but the way that green kind of sits, once it's landing on ground, it probably is going to stay. You know, it was just off the green, but it wasn't a terrible spot to leave it for Ben. You know, that's really a hole where you're kind of just looking to make 3 and go to 18, but Ben had a different idea.
Yeah, I mean, super, super proud of Andrew's execution on that tee shot. It's not an easy hole, especially down the stretch. It's a pivotal hole, as we saw. And one of the biggest things, and I've touched on this a couple of times in interviews, is you have to stay aggressive on the PGA Tour until that last putt's hold. And I'm very proud of him for stepping up and taking on that shot and leaving me in a position to, you know, it speaks for itself, the putt, just to get it started and see it drop. That definitely changed the momentum. We could almost feel like, you know, if you go back to 15, the momentum almost switched to Jake and Frankie when, you know, my second shot ended up on the back fringe. Andrew rolls it up, and we have about 5 feet for par. They're sitting with, you know, 8 or 9 feet for birdie. All of a sudden, there could have been a 2-shot swing there very quickly, and I'm proud that I was able to knock that putt in. They obviously missed, and we felt like that was a good opportunity for us to make a statement on the last few. I didn't make the putt on the fringe on 16, but again, Andrew socked up and executed that shot. And then 18, we both did a awesome job of staying aggressive to our targets, put it in the fairway. Andrew hit a great iron in the perfect spot to kind of chip it up the green and make a 5 as easy as possible for us.
All right, guys, we're going to go over here on the right.
Hey, guys, and Ben, you kind of touched on it with how big and critical that 17, that birdie putt was. Was that kind of almost like that sense of relief, like, oh, all right, we got a little bit of distance, especially since you hit that back 9, you come out of the delay with 2 bogeys, and then it's just a grinding, like, par. It was that kind of the moment where it was like, we can take that breath and maybe we can go in 18 a little more relaxed?
Definitely some relief, but more just fired up. I mean, that was huge for us, and I mean, I looked over, I made the putt, and all I was doing was looking for someone with a green shirt on because I knew we matched, and sure enough, Frankie was wearing a green shirt, so I almost like fist pumped him, and I was like, oh wait, he's the guy who just hit the water, I probably shouldn't do that. Found Andrew, but yeah, you know, no lead safe on tour, you got to stay aggressive down the stretch. That was huge for us, and yeah, you know, 18's, you know, it's still not the easiest finishing hole when you're trying to lock up a tour win, and so really proud of the way we both executed shots on 18, and I'm proud of the way Andrew lagged up that 12-footer for me to tap it right in.
All right, we'll go over here to Brett, who's out front.
I was never going to make that one.
All right, over here on your left, Brett Martell with AP. Ben, could you give us maybe some background on what led to your partnership in this tournament, and also maybe how you felt it helped the team's confidence, or how nice it was to have a partner who had been playing the way that Andrew had been playing the last month?
Yeah, we were both really excited, I think, to play with each other, and it's been awesome to follow Andrew's success the last few weeks. You know, I just missed out on both the Masters and the RBC Heritage, but you know, leading up to that, Andrew was playing incredible golf. I was playing pretty good golf. You know, I had gotten in the mix a little bit earlier on in the season, but you know, the last month I didn't play 2 of the weeks, and the other 2 weeks I finished maybe a top 20 and a top 40. So you know, my game was fine, but yeah, it was the partnership kind of was easy. We've talked about partnering up the last couple years, and obviously looking now, we should have just started from the get-go 2 years ago, but that was probably my fault when one of my college teammates, Ryan Gerard, needed a spot a couple years ago, and we paired together. So, but yeah, me and Andrew have known each other since junior golf, since probably we were 14 or 15. You know, he's from the Triangle, you know, Cary, Raleigh area in North Carolina. I'm from Chapel Hill. He ended up growing up in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. I was in North Carolina, but we still played a lot of Carolina's Golf Association events together, different opens, and then as we went into college, we didn't really play against each other that much until kind of the summertime. He was at Wofford, I was at North Carolina. Our schedules were just different. And then, no, I mean, you guys still play in great events. We just, for some reason, didn't play the same ones. But
we didn't get invited to those events.
But no, we both lived in Sea Island. More or less for me, the last 5 years, I just made the move down to Florida, further south. But we've played in a ton of money games together in Sea Island. We've trained with the same strength coach, Randy Myers, there for 4 or 5 years. We've done just about everything in our career together. I mean, Andrew's been one step ahead of me, I would say, since I got into professional golf. He was on the Korn Ferry Tour, and then I got on the next year. Then I fell off. He stayed on. He got his tour card. I got on the Korn Ferry Tour and got my PGA Tour card. So I was 1 year behind him, but we kind of made, the same progress together on the PGA Tour. And then, if you look at Andrew on the PGA Tour the last 4 seasons, he's gone from the 126 to 150 category to top 125 to top 100 last year, and now obviously he's in the mix to. I mean, you probably moved to like 5 or 6 now in the FedEx Cup. So it's been really, really cool to see his progress, and I think it's just a full circle moment. Andrew said that earlier of us, sitting up here together, getting our first win. I feel like we've had similar tracks to where we are today.
All right, we're gonna go back to Brody up here.
Since Ben already broke that down that way, I guess for Andrew then. Ben's talked about before, taking a day job a few years ago and not sure if he keep doing this grind. To then do it together because you've known each other this long, but also to see where he's kind of fought through and your own fight, just kind of, I guess, could you take me through that feeling of doing this together with 2 guys who had to really fight to get here?
We've done a lot of work together at home. We've seen each other work. We've seen the time and effort that each other have put in. I think it really is full circle that now we win together. It seems like a movie, really. Like, it seems like a movie script. Like, it's not real, but I mean, it's just perfect how it all came together. Ben was, he was on Korn Ferry when I was on PGA Tour at first, but we'd still be at home. He'd be putting in the work. Like, I kind of knew he was going to bounce back, once he had his little sabbatical. Like, when he came back, like, the mindset was there, the focus was there. Like, that kind of like locked you in almost. Like, got your priorities like back in order, I guess. And I mean, since then, I mean, that you didn't last very long on the Korn Ferry Tour. You're right out here where you belong. So.
Good. All right. Any other questions? All right, guys. Well, PGA Tour winners at last. Ben and Andrew, congratulations, guys. Well deserved.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.